Hello and welcome to GC360, your source for the latest news and stories from the heart of our community and beyond. I'm Jalen Brooks, and we have a packed show for you today.
And I'm Caroline Hubbard. Whether you're a student, faculty member, or just someone interested in what's happening in our community, GC360 is here to keep you informed and engaged. Coming up, a Georgia high school student talks about her experience during the recent Hamas attack on Israel. The Hub recently opened its doors for this year with a Welcome Back event. We'll tell you about it.
This is GC360, where news comes full circle.
Thanks for joining us. We begin in the Middle East, where war is raging between Israel and the Palestinian militant group Hamas. One of the latest incidents involves an attack on a hospital in Gaza. This is a picture of the facility before the attack. Palestinians say at least 500 people were killed and blame Israel, but the Israelis say the hospital was hit by a misfired rocket from another Palestinian militant group, Islamic Jihad. Thousands have died since the war started. It began on October 7th when Hamas staged a surprise attack on Israel. The Israelis say more than 1,400 died as Hamas indiscriminately targeted people. Palestinians say more than 3,000 Gaza residents have been killed in retaliatory airstrikes by Israel. Well, we want to bring you the story of a Georgia high school student who was in Israel during the Hamas attacks. Lila Kaplan was among about 100 students on an international study program in the days following the Hamas attacks. Flights were canceled and there was a state of uncertainty for Lila and others. They managed to get out with the help of an Atlanta-based travel agent who was on a visit to the region. I spoke with Lila about her experience.
My school was we were doing a field trip in Jerusalem, so we spent the night at a hotel there, and we were supposed to spend 2 nights for Simchat Torah, which is the happiest holiday of the Jewish calendar. And we woke up to counselors and people banging on our doors telling us to wake up our friends, that we needed to go to the bomb shelter and run as fast as we could. We only had 90 seconds to get there from the 4th floor all the way to the -5th. So my first thought was just run. Like, I left my phone, I left my watch, I didn't have shoes on. We saw all of our friends run down. None of the guys had shirts on. We just ran as fast as we could as like the sirens went off. It was terrifying.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. After you were all like situated and realized what was happening, what were you think? Like, what did you think once you knew what was going on?
So at that point, it wasn't a war. Like, Israel did not declare war, so it was an operation. And Israel has operations every couple months because of what happens with Palestine, but it has not been this bad since the Yom Kippur War, which was 50 years ago to that day. So it was a planned attack. Our teachers explained it to us. As it got worse throughout the day, they pulled us out and told us, like, it's getting bad. We need to start taking things seriously.
I'm so sorry. So what was it like being there during this, like between when you realized that Saturday to when you got home? Like, what was it like?
So we started off in Jerusalem, and our campus is in Hod HaSharon, which is about 30 minutes north of Tel Aviv. So we left our hotel in Jerusalem at like very late at night. So it was dark. We got on the bus. Our madrahim, which are our counselors, they briefed us on what to do if the sirens went off while we were on the bus. So it was to lay down on the ground, get off the bus, lay down on the ground, put your hands over your head, and be as quiet as you could. And we got back on campus. Everyone slept in the bomb shelter. It we tried to have regular school the next day. Some of the teachers couldn't make it in, so we had Zoom classes. Some classes got canceled. The next day we only had Israel studies. We have an app on our phone that tells us like when the bombs are kind of heading our way, and we saw that they were slowly traveling up north, heading Tel Aviv and slowly coming up towards us. And so I was coming back from Israel studies, walking to the bomb shelter, knowing that like, oh, I should probably be in there just in case. And then the siren started going off, and we all sprinted to the bomb shelter. That's when we knew things were getting really, really bad, and we were probably getting sent home. So, and the next day we found out we were getting sent home, and 2 days later we left.
Was it hard to leave? How do you feel?
Yeah. I didn't want to leave my friends. Our program was cut short over 2 months, so leaving my friends was not fun. It was probably the most difficult thing I've done.
Lila's family in Georgia remained deeply concerned for her safety during this trying period. They kept in constant contact, offering words of encouragement and support, which provided to be an emotional lifeline.
And what were your initial thoughts?
Well, I woke up last Saturday morning. I have a class at 5 a.m. on Saturday. I know it sounds insane, but I get up at 3 and I look at my phone, and the first thing I see is like a text from Lila, from my sister, that just says like, we're in Jerusalem, we're getting bombed. And like I kind of like skip past everything else, but like I pulled the whole thing down so I could see all the notifications, and I just see like news headlines like Israel under attack like by Hamas, and I'm like, oh my god, this is real. Like I like break down, start crying. I text my instructor, I'm like, I'm not coming in, like I can't, my sister's like being bombed, like I'm calling her, like I'm sitting on the phone with her. Like I was like sick to my stomach. Like waking up on a Saturday morning and finding out your sister's like under attack halfway across the world is like, what can I do? What am I supposed to do?
Lila made it safely back home on the 17th.
This weekend ended with a major splash as residents of Central Campus's Foundation Hall became victims of flooding. It began when fire from an oven caused the sprinklers to go off. The situation was quickly brought under control. Here's a community advisor, Caleb Rogers, with more on what happened.
So as far as I know, something was left in the community oven on the first floor and was left to burn to the point where the smoke billowed up and it triggered the sprinklers, which then triggered the alarm. And it took they were pretty fast with the recovery time, but it took them about like half an hour to officially put out the fire and made it safe so everyone could return back into the building. As far as I know, nobody was severely injured. But as far as damage goes, the first floor was severely flooded. So the first floor community room, the kitchen, and the classroom, all on the first floor, were flooded quite severely. Because how the sprinkler system works here is that it runs fully through the water supply before it stops. So there was like a solid 2 inches of water just sitting in the kitchen, and it spread all the way down to the carpets and then stained the carpets. And thankfully, it was on the side where nobody's rooms were, so nobody's like personal belongings got damaged or anything like that. It was just the kitchen and then the community room and then the foundation classroom that all just got like very severely flooded. So
The Hub recently had a celebration to begin the new academic year, but what is the Hub? Our reporter Allie Mills explains.
The Hub recently had its annual open house to kick off the new year.
So that was a time where we just invite our entire campus community to come, break bread with us, meet some new people. We really want to give especially first year students the opportunity to find places of belonging and connection. And we know that our student groups and our centers are a really wonderful place for students on campus to do that.
Blackbridge Hall, or the Hub, is a place where Georgia College students from all backgrounds can feel welcome. Many campus organizations rely on the space for their meetings and programs.
So it's home to the Cultural Center as well as the Women's Center and LGBTQ+ programs, which are both departments within the Division of Student Life, as well as several student organizations such as Pride Alliance, Braveheart, Black Student Alliance, Asian Student Union, and Latino Student Association.
October marks the start of LGBTQ+ History and Intimate Partner Violence Awareness Month. This will be a busy time for the Hub, and they have a lot planned.
We tend to do a lot of just programs and events around that. So big ones within IPVAM, we've got our annual clothesline project, which is always out on Front Campus, which is an awareness raising display related to different types of power-based interpersonal violence. And then for LGBT History Month, we always celebrate National Coming Out Day and just do a lot of other kind of pride-related celebrations. Since we don't have a lot of students here during June, we tend to kind of go Pride in October.
Honoring, uniting, and building, the Hub continues to stand against identity-based oppression through education and support. And reporting for GC360, this is Allie Mills.
Next on GC360, we will see how the new Office of Student Health and Wellbeing is putting Bobcats first through its Quality Enhancement Plan.
ChatGPT has caused quite an uproar in classrooms, causing debates between students and professors. Stay tuned for special guests and more.
Hey, that's my favorite news anchor. Ugh, what do you want? Like 10 seconds. Can you just read this announcement for me? Okay, 10 seconds. Okay.
This semester, GC360 is introducing a new show, Cat Talk. We will showcase a new guest each month and deep dive into some topical issues of concern to you. You may also see some of our guests play some silly games while they're here with us. You won't want to miss this from GC360. This is Isabellae Vander Lende. So join me each month for Cat Talk right here on GC360.
Welcome back. This is GC360 News, where news comes full circle. In this week's installment of Professor versus Student, what is your view on ChatGPT? There's a prevailing debate on its value in the academic world. Some professors are worried that students may use this to cheat, making ChatGPT do their work. Others say that professors and teachers must find a way to use this in the interest of their students.
So, here to discuss this, I have Dr. Peter Selgin, Associate Professor of English, and student Caitlin Taylor. Welcome to GC360. Now, first up, for our first question, we have, what do you think are some advantages or disadvantages of using ChatGPT?
Well, I think it's an inevitable tool. It's been developed the same way tools were developed in the Industrial Revolution to do work that would be done by people. And I don't think there's any avoiding it. Once it exists, people are going to use it. They're going to find ways to use it. The question is, how do you teach people to use it in a creative, constructive way, rather than just as a way to cheat on work?
I see. All right, and how would you respond to that question?
Man, that is pretty much words out of my mouth. I mean, there's really not much that you can do to get kids to not use ChatGPT. I mean, especially with the mentality of students of C's get degrees, kids don't really come here to learn, they come here to get a degree and get a job, which is it's almost disheartening for students who actually do want to learn and get into the material, because when you're around that mindset, it kind of becomes easier to just do what other people do, because you see everybody else working, you're working so hard, and you see other people just cheating and getting by and getting the exact same results that you're getting. So it's kind of a weird, complex dynamic going on.
I understand.
But if students are going to cheat, use ChatGPT as a substitute. Those students are going to be cheating themselves. They're not going to learn. They're going to be the kind of students who just want to get a grade, want to find a way to get by, and there's not much that can be done about that. I mean, professors can be diligent and try to find out whether they've been abusing the technology, but I think the real problem comes down to the quality of students. And either students are intellectually curious and want to learn, and that's their goal, in which case they're not going to abuse the technology. They may use it, or they're not. And I don't blame the technology for that. It just becomes another way for students to really avoid learning, which is a shame, but there's always been that problem.
That's true. Now, do you think ChatGPT should be promoted more or less?
Well, I don't think it should be promoted at all by an institution, a university. I don't think there's any need to do that, because I think that this technology, first of all, is going to become competitive. You're going to have a lot of people creating things like ChatGPT, and they're going to be competing with each other, and they're going to promote themselves more than necessary. And so certainly schools shouldn't promote it. Whether they should resist it or promote against it is another question. I don't think they should do that either. I think it's a hopeless thing. It's like putting your finger in a dike to stop the water. I think they need to learn to live with it and to teach students how to use it in a constructive way. Because ultimately, ChatGPT cannot think, and one of the things that's true about anything, well, one definition of creativity, real creativity, is it's something that a machine can't do.
That's true.
It's something that a machine can't do. What the machine can do is put something together out of all kinds of parts that it's ingested. But then it takes someone creative to be able to distinguish between that product and something that's really, really well done and composed and has some, what the Germans call Salz and Schmalz, fat and salt, that has taste, that has personality, that has a soul to it. Writing that ChatGPT puts out has a lot of things going for it, but soul is not one of them. And originality is not one of them. It's sadly lacking, and I think will be. It can only imitate those things. It can approximate them. It's like the difference between real crab meat and that fake stuff.
Right.
Anyone who knows real crab knows the difference.
True. I love that phrase. Now, thank you both. Thank you both for coming. That's all the time we have for today. This was a great debate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Students have been using ChatGPT to complete assignments, and they, it's a big debate here on campus. So we really appreciate having both our professor and our student here on the newsroom today to talk with us about it. Our next story focuses on another student struggle. Can you help receive extra credit during the semester? That's through the Office of Student Health and Wellbeing, located in Magnolia. That office works to improve the physical, emotional, and social health across campus. Our reporter, Erin Finnegan, has the story.
Georgia College is taking another step forward to help their students. The new Office of Student Health and Wellbeing is implementing new and improved student outreach resources. Amy Watley, the Director of Student Care and Outreach, is here to help students get in touch with various programs on campus.
To help students in their overall well-being, and specifically we know Bobcats First is talking about physical, emotional, social, and intellectual.
Bobcats First is here to help students get more connected on campus and to encourage a positive campus experience. Exercise in Medicine is just one of the programs in Bobcats First. It's a collaboration with the Wellness and Recreation Center, and anyone with interest can get involved. The Student Health and Wellbeing Office connects the student to staff with whom they can discuss weekly goals and what they want to get involved with at GCSU. The student will have weekly check-ins with Bobcats First for 6 weeks, and they will have a complete follow-up about their experience with the program. This is just one part of what Watley's office provides for students. Along with goals to improve Campus Corner, where students can get basic necessities for free, Watley and 2 of her staff overlook case management for students. Student Health and Wellbeing has big plans for the futures of Georgia College students.
The goal is to collaborate. The goal is to have a robust website, to get in front of different students in classes and programs and things like that, to better explain our services and what we offer and how we can help students adjust to college, or even if they've been here and they're going through some challenging times, like how can we just be there to help get them back on track.
To learn more about the Office of Student Health and Wellbeing, visit them at the Student Activity Center, room 215. Reporting from GC360, I'm Erin Finnegan.
Time now for a look at the weather.
Time now for a look at the weather. For that is Grace Wood. Grace?
Thanks, Thanks, Jalen. It looks like we've officially entered spooky season here in Milledgeville, with this upcoming week giving us cozy autumn temperatures ranging from the lower 50s to the high 70s. Friday will be perfect weather to wrap up with a hot chocolate, as we'll be looking at a low of 51 and a high of 75, with isolated thunderstorms throughout the day. Bobcats can expect beautiful weather for the Deep Roots on Saturday, with a sunny high of 78 degrees, which will be perfect for enjoying the festival. Sunday will be a little cooler, with a high of 75 and a low of 50, as well as cloudy skies during the day. Monday will bring us into next week with some chilly temperatures, and we'll be feeling a high of 71 and a low of 48. This weather will stay around the same into Tuesday, and it'll be just the right temperature to bake some cookies and watch a scary movie. Wednesday will give us comfortable temperatures with a high of 75 and a low of 55, and skies staying mostly sunny throughout the day. Leading into Halloween, Thursday will be partly cloudy with more enjoyable weather, with temperatures ranging from 77 to 59. That's it for weather this week, Bobcats. Back to you, Caroline and Jalen.
Next on GC360.
Anchor Bella Vander Lende takes us to GC's Student Media Day, where we'll hear opinions about students at the event.
And entertainment, Taylor Swift has sold out more movie theaters across the country with her new movie, and we'll hear about Pete Davidson's NSL parody of a song from a recent box office hit. Keep watching GC360 to get the scoop on these exciting stories and other news.
Welcome, listeners. How y'all doing? Coming soon, right from the classrooms of Midway Hills and Lakeview Academies, the Writing for Success podcast, a reimagining of the 1998 anthology, Everybody Has a Story to Tell, Stories of Flannery O'Connor's Milledgeville. Baldwin County students will share their stories as part of this 100% federally funded grant of $385,000 to improve literacy in Baldwin County Elementary School. That sounds pretty good, y'all. Come check it out. Can't wait to see y'all there, or hear y'all there, or just hang out there. See you there.
Welcome back to GC360, where news comes full circle. Now we're jumping into the exciting world of sports. Skyla Morris delivers the latest updates on our Georgia College Bobcats, as well as your favorite national teams. Skyla?
Thanks, Caroline. The Atlanta Braves have been eliminated from the MLB playoffs after a 3-1 loss to the Philadelphia Phillies on Thursday night. Their series with Philadelphia consisted of 1 win and 3 losses, where they won 5-4 in the second matchup, but suffered tough losses in the remainder of the games. This unfortunate ending left fans devastated after a record of 104 wins in the 2023 season alone. The Georgia Bulldogs remain undefeated with their 37-20 road win over the Vanderbilt Commodores on Saturday at First Bank Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. It was a rocky matchup for the Dogs, but they managed to pull the victory. Quarterback Carson Beck threw for 261 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, and a 1-yard rushing touchdown. Speaking of key players, fan favorite junior tight end Brock Bowers is out until further notice after suffering an upper ankle sprain during the second quarter of last week's game. According to ESPN, Bowers had surgery on his ankle on Tuesday and isn't expected to return for 4 to 6 weeks. Fans are disappointed over this unfortunate news, but he is expected to make a full recovery. And finally, our Georgia College women's volleyball team snagged a 3-1 road victory over Shorter University in Rome, Georgia. This victory resulted in a record of 12 wins and 12 losses overall, and 1 win and 7 losses in the Peach Belt Conference. Their next matchup is set for 6 p.m. next Thursday at home against Middle Georgia State. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, Bobcats. Back to you, Caroline and Jalen.
Next, we're taking you back to Georgia College's Student Media Day, where anchor Bella Vander Lende got to have some exciting conversations with the student body.
Hello, and welcome to this year's first installment of Bella Talks to the Bobcats. I'm Isabellae Vander Lende, and we're here at Student Media Day. Was that too much? No, it was perfect. Do you want to answer a question? No? Okay. Do you want to answer a question? Okay. What time is it? Because I also have class. Do you want to answer a question? Sure. What's your go-to excuse for missing class?
I don't miss class.
But like you've never just missed class for funsies?
Mm-mm.
I really do strive to be more like her. I never will. I'm a senior. It's too late for me.
You're a senior?
Yeah. Girl, I'm about to be 22. Even though once I was told I look like a 30-year-old, so that was really fun, and that hurt my feelings. What's your go-to excuse for missing class?
Ooh, I'm sick.
I'm sick?
Definitely I'm sick.
You just email them, you're like, I'm so
I'm
ill.
throwing up all morning, I can't show up to class. It's like, because they can't say, come to class if I'm throwing up. What am I gonna do, like throw up on you?
Exactly. Do you want to answer? You're on the Bobcat. Walking through the Bobcat count so far is 4. 3? 3. Count number 4. We need to put some cones out. What's your go-to excuse for missing class?
I'm sick.
Have you ever like said something that like you're like, I probably shouldn't have said that as my excuse, but I did it anyway?
Yes, I have.
And
I did the grandma dying one. I did it. She's alive and well.
Sophia, what's your go-to excuse to skip class? What do you, if you do skip class, like what do you say? Oh my God, Michael!
Yes.
Over here at the colonnade table, lots of visitors.
So many. Millions. We're having a, yeah, they're in a line.
People are so excited about Student Media Day, right? No, it's like awesome. Guys, what's your go-to excuse to miss class?
Headache. Really bad migraine.
Me too. That's what I always say.
Let's go.
What are they gonna say? No, you don't have a migraine. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I like the classic car troubles and I got stuck at home.
Yeah, or like traffic or like no parking.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And that one's valid.
And real.
Being sick. Oh, but I had a broken leg last year, and every time I didn't want to go to class, my leg was hurting that day.
Oh yeah.
That I'm having a migraine, which honestly sometimes isn't a lie.
Literally, that's what I said.
So
every time someone, I always say I have a migraine, which sometimes isn't a lie.
Yeah, sometimes that's real.
It's like 50-50 if it's a lie or not. Yeah. We'll never know. Sometimes I'm lying to myself about it, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Well, okay, let's switch it up.
Oh,
What's the top excuse you get for people missing class?
The top excuse?
Because we've been asking everyone what's like your go-to excuse when you miss class. Like, what do you email your professors?
Family emergency.
Family emergency. Really? I would have thought it was like, oh, I'm sick.
Yeah, no, family emergency usually. Yeah.
All right, now that I'm looking rough and it's been, how long have we been here?
3 hours.
Several hours. 3 hours of this. I'm ready to go. So, thanks for watching. Thank you, Caroline and Jalen. This week on entertainment, if you like My Name's Ken from the Barbie movie, then Pete Davidson's most recent SNL skit titled My Name's Pete should get added to your watch list. In the song, Davidson hilariously makes fun of his constant bad publicity while singing a parody of the catchy tune. Speaking of music, Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour movie premiered this past week. The movie is a full up-close recording of one of her concerts at SoFi Stadium during her Eras Tour, taking viewers through the entire concert experience. In local entertainment, this Saturday is the annual Deep Roots Festival. The fest will be happening in downtown Milledgeville from 10 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. Admission to the event is free, but concert tickets for the event have prices ranging from $20 to $30 each.
And Kids Zone passes are being sold for $10 to $15. There will be food trucks, a car show, artist markets, and exciting pop-up performances. Hope to see you there. That's it for entertainment this week. Back to you, Caroline and Jalen.
Apologize for the technical difficulties during that.
That's all for this week, Bobcats. I'm Caroline Hubbard.
And I'm Jalen Brooks. We're not on the air. We keep up to date with you on our social media pages. That's at facebook.com/GC360 and at GC360 News for Twitter and Instagram. Always available to you, GC360, where news comes full circle.